Hey guys, it's Classic Dance Moms, and today I'm going to be starting a new series, and it is called My Experiences Meeting the Dance Mom Girls. Now, I have met the Dance Mom Girls on multiple occasions, and I'm going to make it into a series which is divided into chronological order, talking about my experience, where I met them, what it was like, what I got, and etc. This first part includes the time I met Chloe, Paige, and Kendall, and I met them in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So keep on watching if you want some more information. Now, I live in Connecticut, and I'm an 11-year-old girl at the time in sixth grade. So driving all the way from Connecticut to Pennsylvania, really long ride. There was a lot of traffic, and it took about 5 hours just to get to the hotel. We actually had to go there the night before, so we would sleep there, and then we would go to the meet and greet, and we would do other stuff in Pennsylvania and make it into a whole day trip. I went with my two grandparents and my mom. I got to give a shout out to my grandpa for driving. God bless his soul, honestly. So to add for some backstory, that entire week leading up to the meet and greet, I was actually really sick. I had a really high fever and I could barely get out of bed. So I wasn't sure if I was going for a while and it was really upsetting. But I ended up going anyways, and I'm so glad that I was able to convince my mom that I was better enough to go. I remember when we got there, we checked into this really nice hotel where the girls were coming. And when we slept there, it was really fun to sleep there because the beds were really big, and I remember I was jumping all over them because I was so excited for the next morning to finally meet my idols. Now, I had an Instagram fan page for the girls at the time, and I had made a list of questions I wanted to ask each girl. But in particular, I really wanted to ask Chloe if she would date this guy named Josh Hyland. Everyone in the fandom at the time was like shipping them, and I was just like, I want an answer already. Like, why is nobody gonna ask this? Like, I've been wanting tea since I was 11, so guess I know how that started. So I knew that was gonna be the first question I was going to ask the girls. So for breakfast the next day, we ended up going out to this place. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a little diner, and they had the fluffiest pancakes ever. I will never forget those. Anyways, when we were going back to the hotel, inside of the hotel, there was a Starbucks. And so I look out of the corner of my eye with my family, and I see what looks like and turns out to be Kelly and Paige. When I saw her, Paige was just getting a vanilla bean frappuccino, and I watched as she was paying, and I just could not stop watching. I watched for a minute, and I was debating on whether or not I should go up to her. And my mom, who is also a Dance Moms fan, noticed this, and she was like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And so I was going to approach her, but then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna meet her later anyways. So I ended up just walking away, and that was the biggest regret of my life. So then I start getting ready, and I'm obviously really nervous. I want to wear a cute outfit, but then my grandparents forced me into this pink outfit, and I didn't like it, so I was crying about it. But I ended up wearing it anyways, just because they were like, "Oh, we drove all the way here, you're wearing this," and stuff like that. So I wore it, but I felt bad about myself. So then, after we're ready, we end up going to the area where we're meeting the girls, and it's pretty crowded. There's a lot of people talking and chatting. It was a bit unorganized, but we didn't really care. We were just excited to meet the girls. So we're just waiting and waiting, and I'm just like, "Mom, when are they coming?" And we were all just really excited. So I remember when the girls and the moms came out, there was a lot of screaming and a lot of people were flashing photos. Half of the screaming was probably from me, to be honest, because I was a huge fan from like season one, so I was freaking out. And Chloe was one of my favorite girls at the time, if you couldn't tell. So I was just freaking out. Like this was a dream come true. So as everything settles down a bit, we have a Q&A. And this was my moment where I really wanted to ask Chloe that question. And I remember waiting, but also taking notes at the same time of what the girls were saying. And I remember I wanted to record bits and pieces that I thought would be good information to remember. An example of this was when they were talking about a solo that at the time was unaired. It was a Paige solo, and it was Get Up, Get Loud, Get Tough, and they were talking about how good it was, and I'm like, okay, I need to record this.
What was your favorite solo? I like the solo Make Some Noise, and I also like one that you guys haven't seen yet, but it's coming up. It's called Get Up, Get Loud, and Get Tough. So you guys can watch it. Yes, finally.
I eventually would be posting that onto what is now Classic Dance Moms. But I was so impatient and I just wanted Chloe to answer my question. My hand was super high up. And then I finally got called on. Not gonna lie, I did feel a bit uncomfortable asking Chloe that question, but I really just wanted an answer and I was just an impatient child. So I asked her and then I apologized later on. I was like, sorry, awkward question, but I just wanted to know. And she was really sweet about it though, and I think she handled it pretty well considering I was a crazy 11-year-old.
Me? Okay, people have always been writing like fanfics and stories about you dating Josh, Highland, Paige's brother. That would be really weird. Well, would you ever consider dating him?
She said that would be weird.
Oh. Would you ever consider?
Would you
ever date
so
him?
you didn't answer the question. No, the question was, are you
dating him?
Are you dating Josh?
I think Josh has a thing for Mia.
Oh!
Not have anything for anybody. He's too young to date. He kisses girls under the bleachers.
He kissed girls in
No, don't say that about Josh. Josh is a very cute boy, and I know all of you guys like a little Josh.
Okay,
Little.
go ahead. Who's next? Do you want to pick someone?
This dumb question I decided to post on YouTube, and it was my first video that I would upload on Classic Dance Club. I just wanted to upload it for fun, just to be like, haha, I was right, or whatever. And then it ended up going viral, but we'll talk about that later. So my question was finally answered, and I was so happy to finally have some light shed on this information. So I was like fangirling to myself because I had no friends to be with me and everyone was just staring at me awkwardly. Good times, good times. Another thing I remember is that Paige and Kelly were talking about leaving Dance Moms. Note, this was around mid-season 3, so this was before the big drama happened in season 4. And I remember I was so sad, I actually screamed out, "Wait, don't go!" in front of a bunch of people. And so I also bought a few pre-signed photos. That was Chloe, Paige, and Kendall. So after a really long time, the Q&A sadly had to come to an end, and we were taking photos and doing signatures. Now, I was, again, an impatient child, so I wanted to go as soon as possible. So my mom kept talking me to distract the amount of time it was taking because, again, pretty crowded, but I wasn't like too far behind in the line. And I remember I went up to those girls and I was so nervous because I just wanted to make a good impression for some reason, even though I knew they wouldn't remember me. I remember passing around the group photo to each girl and mom and having them all sign it. They were all really nice people to talk to. Christy was making a few jokes. Paige was really funny. Kendall was kind of quiet, and so was Chloe. But they were all really good girls, and I really appreciated them. I actually ended up mentioning the whole Starbucks incident to Paige, and she just laughed about it. I was kind of embarrassed, but, I figured it would be something cool to tell her about, so I just did it. I remember when I was supposed to be taking the photos with the girls, I was feeling extremely self-conscious because I knew the girls and I knew that they were really pretty, and I didn't think I was that pretty at the time, so I wanted to make sure that everything just looked good. off of the videos I ended up uploading, I remember one day I was scrolling through the Dance Moms tag on Instagram, and honestly, I had kind of forgotten about the video until I noticed someone reposted it. And they were talking about how funny it was and how unique the question was, and I was very confused. So I decided to check again at the video, and it turns out it had about 200,000 views at the time. I was shook. Then more and more people started talking about me in the fandom, and it was a really great feeling. I felt like I had actually done something to contribute, even if I didn't mean to do it. And that is how Classic Dance Moms was born. Because without this first meet and greet, if I was sick any longer and ended up not going, I wouldn't be Classic Dance Moms. So, in the end, the 5-hour drive, the week sickness, it was all worth my time. I had such a great time, and meeting the girls would forever change my life. But my 11-year-old self did not know that this wouldn't be the last time I would see these girls. So, in part 2, I will be talking about the time I met Chloe in December of 2013, and this is where a lot of stuff went down, including the Chloe Lucchese Actors Turns video, and a little bit of drama I'll get into. So, I hope you guys like this series. Nothing too crazy happened in this one other than the Starbucks incident, but trust me, I have some crazy stories coming up. So, make sure to keep up with it, and yeah. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!